All right. Waiting on it to be. Let's see if we can get this better. No? Okay. Wonder why. What's up? What we're doing here. Okay. Here's where we are. Push my chair up some. And there we go. A little bit higher for myself. All right, got about maybe 20 seconds or so. We're going to get this party started. And now, it's less than 20 seconds. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, and I'm here today to teach you how to use neuroprobability. Today's topic is believing yourself. Before we get into that, on your own, take 3 cleansing breaths. Inhale and exhale, and then we will get this party started. Okay, we are still in realistic. This is the last one in realistic from a real leader principle perspective, and it is believe in yourself. Before we get into believing yourself and how to believe in yourself, let's just go over what neuroprobability is and how we got here. So what you have is neurogenesis, and neurogenesis is creating new neurons. And there are many ways to do that here on this live and here with Real Leadership. You challenge yourself, you develop new skills, and you have an environment that is enriched. That's how the neurons thrive and flourish. What hinders this new neurons from thriving and flourishing is a toxic environment, fear, and stress. So if you have those, no matter how many new neurons you create, they are not going to survive and thrive in a toxic, stressful, fearful environment. And we know that that environment is located in Loserville. Over here in the land of real leaders, we're all about neurogenesis. Now, once you create those new neurons, neurons connect to synapses that connect to another neuron, and you create what's called a neural pathway, and that's what neuroplasticity is. It is the brain's ability to rewire itself to create more and more neural pathways. Then you have personal accountability, which is the 74 principles of real leadership, as well as the theory of personal accountability. When you combine those two together, you end up with neuroprobability, and that's wiring your brain to hold yourself personally accountable every single day using the 74 principles of real leadership, which gives your brain the ability to create unlimited neural pathways, allowing you to become your best. Final thing is that we use the executive function of our brain, which is located in the frontal lobe, and the executive function is the CEO of your brain, so it runs everything. So between that and the 74 principles of real leadership, you have the ability to become your best every single day to a level that you never thought or knew was possible. Now, believe in yourself. I thought about this last night. I thought about it this morning. I Googled a couple things, and when you put believe in yourself together and you search it, there are these warm and fluffy la-la-foo-foo things that show up. You just believe, and you meditate, and you journal, and you put affirmations on the wall, and all these things work. And if you think about how long the concept of believing yourself has been in existence, why don't we have more people believing in themselves? And we'll get into what stops you from believing in yourself. So what I have been doing is taking the principles of real leadership and breaking them down each individual word. And so I'd like to give you the definition of believe in and yourself. So believe is to have confidence in the truth, the existence or the reliability of something, although without absolute proof that one is right in doing so. So again, you're going to have confidence in the truth, the existence or the reliability of something, although without absolute proof that one is doing the right thing. So you have to believe. Some would say faith. Have faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. So you're believing in something when you really don't have proof. When I was 22, 23 years old, I wrote a list of 25 things that I wanted to accomplish in my life, and one of those things was to earn a doctorate. At that time, I didn't even have a master's degree, but I put that on the list because I believed that that was something that I was going to be able to accomplish. I had confidence in myself that this thing was going to become a reality, and then by the time I was 33, 34, somewhere around there, I had earned both a master's degree and a doctorate degree. So I believed in the future event something was going to take place, but I had no proof other than I'm going to do it up here. So it is the confidence in the truth and that the existence or the reliability of something, although there is no proof, it's on the way. In is to or toward the inside. So I have the belief up here and it's inside of me. It's not out here. It's up here in my frontal lobe and the executive function of my brain. And then yourself is you personally. So you are believing in yourself. That means that you can't see it. It's not here. There is no proof. It's inside and it's of you. That is belief in yourself. That's how you started. So you have to say, yep, this is going to happen. People are like, what? What the hell are you talking about? We can't see it. There's no proof of it. What's going on? Oh, it's up here. Y'all will see it in the future, but I already saw it up here. I believe that it's going to happen up here. So I'm just going to start taking action and show you later on. And I used to say, I can show you better than I can tell you. That's number one. So if you don't have new neural pathways and you don't have the ability to create those neural pathways using neural probability, you are never going to believe in yourself. I don't care how many affirmations you have. I don't care how many post-its, vision boards, all kind of shit, and listening to tapes and going to conferences and rah, rah, sis, boom, bah. If you don't have a neurological strengthening, if you don't create new neural pathways of belief, it's never going to happen. I don't care how many, if you got a cheer section, a band behind you with a theme song, it is never, ever, 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 ever going to happen until you create new neural pathways of that belief system. That's how it works. If you don't do anything up here neurologically, you're never going to see it out here. You're never going to have the proof out here if you don't do something different up here. And saying it over and over and over, manifestation. And there's this new thing that people have, the neuroscience behind manifestation. And if you just visualize it, you visualize a car and you visualize a house, and they're always picking shit, these tangible things that you just got to get some money and go buy. But you know what you can't buy? You know what you can't buy? And I've said this before. Go down any store, go in ultra, any beauty, high-end beauty store, any retail store whatsoever. Good morning, Regina. Go buy some self-confidence. Go purchase it. Go on Amazon, look at it, Walmart, Target, wherever you go, look at all the high-end stores and go purchase some self-confidence. Go do it. Go do it. Let's see how that happens. How that happens. Because you have to become it. You cannot go purchase it. You cannot purchase belief, no matter what you do. I used to go to a church in Detroit, Craig Memorial Tabernacle, and the church is still there, and I don't really fucking care. They used to be selling shit all the time. Bishop then bless some corn and bless some other shit. You got to go up there and pay your money and this corn, put it on top of your mantle and all this other shit. This gonna bring you some bullshit. That church is still sitting there on Puritan or whatever with some new pews, and that's it. And I was in high school and college going to that church. Saying his son, he died, and his two sons are running it. The nephew and his son are running the church. Same shit, different generation participating in that nonsense, thinking you can't purchase it. You have to become it. You have to believe it. You have to do the neurological work in order for it to actually work. So if you are here for some time, some quick life hack shit, that's not what I'm about to tell you to do. This is sweat equity. This is actual effort, day in and day out. And it's going to take time in order for you to build your own self-confidence to believe in yourself. With that being said, what's stopping you from believing in yourself? Negativity bias. Number one thing that's stopping you from believing in yourself is because people don't believe in themselves. Negativity bias has been passed down for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And as soon as you say that you're going to do something that goes against the negativity bias, you got plenty of people telling you why that's not going to work, why that is not going to work. I have been on the receiving end of it plenty of times. Numerous times throughout my life. Oh, I saw this. I got this idea to do this. No, you can't, because of blah, blah, blah. Between the confirmation bias, conformity bias, gender bias, racial bias, ageism, and sexism, and everything else, and then throw negativity bias on that and other people's unbelief, you just like, okay, well, I'm going to keep stuff to myself. I ain't even about to say nothing because of the bias. You can't be the only, you can't be the first, you can't be the 15th, you can't be the millionth. This is what you look like. This is where you come from. So this is the path. These are the lines that are available for you. So how are you going to believe in yourself if everybody keeps telling you who you are and you don't feel that instinctively? So now you try to become this thing that was never designed for you. So negativity bias is one of the reasons why. And then negative experiences. If you have a negative experience, the amygdala is going to show back up when a similar experience shows and says, hey, remember, last time you tried to do that, that didn't work. This looks very similar to that other situation. I don't think that's going to work. So then that stops you from believing in yourself. Memories from people from your past putting you down. We know this. My sister started telling me that ain't shit but by the time I was in elementary school. And it took me years, decades later to look back on it, and I was performing better than her. She's Jermaine, I was Michael. So of course, she not gonna like what's happening in my life. So physically beating me up until I was 13, she threw a peroxide bottle at my arm and I flexed on her. We didn't have any more physical altercations after that. Good morning, Lola. So then she went to verbal assault. That ain't shit. Your school ain't shit. ROTC ain't shit. The Army ain't shit. Frito-Lay ain't shit. Your book ain't shit. You ain't shit. Just constantly until I finally stopped talking to her when I turned 40 years old. So negative people telling you, dating men, see what your problem is. You too damn smart. You think you the smartest motherfucker you know. And it just on and on and on. So you got all these people. You think you perfect. My college roommate, you think you're perfect. You think you're perfect. So all of that. And then you get into the workforce and everything else that comes into play. Now it's extremely hard to believe in yourself when you got all this. So it sits there in your head long after those people are gone. That's still in your head. They call that playing old tapes. So now you can't, because even if they're not there anymore, everything they said remains right there because of negativity bias. So you have the DNA ability the genetic ability to believe the negative more than the positive because it's been passed down for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So even if it was positive, you don't believe that to be true because of how many people have said it for thousands and thousands of years. So then you have the lack of support, as I mentioned. So how can you believe in yourself if there's no one supporting you and saying, you can do it? One of the 74 principles of real leadership is can makes the impossible possible. That 3-letter word is extremely powerful. Yes, you can do it. Turn your can't into a can, your how into a now, and now you'll be able to do it. Mental illness. For a long time, my daughter is on here. She thought because of her ADHD and ADD, there were just things that she couldn't do. She couldn't be organized. She was always going to keep messing up and fucking shit up and everything else. None of that is true anymore. We had a conversation yesterday after the live, and she said, I feel like a different person. I can't even describe it because I never felt this way before. So neuromobility is the shit. Generational curses, just passing it down. You come from a long line of idiots and we just idiots. We always, I used to say it all the time. You can't do that. We're poor. We're poor. We're poor. You can't do that. We're poor. Y'all poor. I'm not about to, the poor is a mindset, and I'm not about to be a part of this. I don't believe that. Y'all might be able to believe that, but I believe something different. So then you have all of this. You going over there and trying to be smart and shit, about to go get a degree. You ain't getting another degree. And you about to learn. How much shit you gonna learn? You ain't learned enough yet. You got all them degrees. You think you're so smart. And that TikTok sound, since you got your degree and shit. I think that's Monique saying that. Generational curses will stop you from believing anything. Oh, everybody's heavy set. And then you try to lose some weight and here they come. I don't know why you just gonna gain it back. You know, all we got to do is eat a piece of chicken and we're gonna gain 20 pounds. Like, why can't I just be myself and believe that I can be thin? Or in my case, not drunk. We were still talking to my stepfather. He'd be, yeah, you want the beer, you want the beer, you my daughter, ha, ha, ha. Like, that shit ain't funny. Y'all alcoholics and y'all done started by drinking again. No, don't want this, and we're leaving because this is going to get real loud and real ignorant in about 37 minutes. So we're out. So generational curses. Lack of skills will allow you to not believe in yourself. When I couldn't read, I did not think I had the skill set to do things. I hated standardized tests. It's in the English. I'm like, damn, why can't I read this? And now I know that it's in the orthographic processing system in the brain, and it was given it to me by my mother. And it's something that you can overcome neurologically. So you don't have the skills, so you can't believe in yourself. I didn't believe at one point. I was like, man, I can't graphically design. I had 2 people doing it for me and they weren't doing it correctly. I said, you know what? I'm going to be able to do this because this right here is not working. This is not what I see in my head. So I'm going to have to figure this out on my own. And I did. Lack of information. It's a lack of information that causes you to not believe in yourself. And Nola and I have had one experience. We had a client who was telling us about his niece who plays basketball and giving us some information, not knowing who he was talking to. And so he gave us what he thought was the right information. We came home. She looked her up and was like, that agent is leading her straight. None of this is going to work. But they have a lack of information. And the person that I grew up with, her son is now, he played baseball and he had an official visit. He's on his way to the one school. I contacted her 2 years ago and was like, hey, Nola does sports advising. He was playing football at the time. The caller let her know we can get him some offers. They did. He got one offer from the University of Dayton, and that's where he going. I'm like, boy, homeboy could have been at doggone Power 5 school. But lack of information and them thinking I'm still Dee Dee from Detroit, even though we sent them stuff and said this is what can happen, but they couldn't do it. So between the generational curses, the lack of skills, and the lack of information, this is their fifth child together, her husband's fourth son, and that's the best that they could come up with. And no disrespect to the University of Dayton, but you're not going to the, especially because it was baseball. We could have got him MLB offers, and when he graduates next year, he could be on his way to pros. But again, lack of information, generational curses, and believing that doggone 313 Detroit mentality. Sometimes you can't even get out of this situation when people saying there is opportunity. Just go in that line over there. Then a fear of success. A fear of success will stop you from believing in yourself because, as I mentioned yesterday, you got to do it again and again and again and again and again. So what if I only got one success? Mark Zuckerberg has said it. The reason why he didn't come up with anything else because he was like, I don't know if I can create another Facebook. We're like, well, you didn't create the first one, but okay, we'll go with that narrative. So I don't know if I can do this again. One thing about me, my track record says I don't care what industry it is, anything. I'm going to be successful at it because be the best is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. And then fear of failure. So you're like, I failed over here, so obviously I'm going to fail over there. And I failed over here, so obviously I'm going to fail over there. Failure only tells you what didn't work, so you'll know, you'll take notes, and you'll find out what actually does work. And then fear of the unknown. That's what keeps people stuck in a comfort zone, is that, ooh, I don't know what's on the other side of that. This I know. And even though it sucks and it's a shit show, it's the shit show that I know, so I can prepare myself for it instead of going off and doing something else. And then unaccountable people. Unaccountable people are why most people don't believe in themselves. You have an unaccountable person in your life that's causing you, because they don't believe in themselves, they're ensuring that you don't believe in yourself too. That is what they're doing. They are making sure you stay right there with the Stuckmilly in the comfort zone in Loserville. What you doing believing in yourself? They're there to chip away at your belief. If you get enough belief, they're going to get an intervention, and the whole family's going to get to, now we know what you've been trying to do, and we're going to tell you why that's not going to work. And the next thing you know, they are peeling away your belief and making sure that you sit right there with them and stay exactly in their comfort zone. So again, in summary, what's stopping you from believing in yourself? Negativity bias, negative experiences, memories from people from your past putting you down, lack of support, mental illness, generational curses, lack of skills, lack of information, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, and unaccountable people. Now you can see why you can have all of the doggone affirmations in the world. You can go to as many seminars, webinars. I used to listen to motivational tapes when I was selling Mary Kay, Gloria Mayfield Banks, and other people. And you listening to it, and then go to my mother. You still over there selling shit? It's all gone because of negativity bias. So whatever I did, that is already there, throwing everything away, all my good works. That's why you have to get rid of the unaccountable people in your life, because they are neurologically inept, and they are going to ensure that anything that you are trying to do, they're going to destroy it, because you have to stay in their caste system in order to make their ecosystem works. And if you step outside of that, now everybody's like, uh-oh, you disrupted the apple cart. What's going on with you? How you ain't supposed to be passing nobody. We had a hierarchy over here, and you at the bottom. What you trying to do? Rise to the top. And now you can't, because of unaccountable people, because they're the ones that created negativity bias. They're the ones making things bad for you. So the root cause, if we do why, your unbelief is connected to unaccountable people. That's what it is. So you have to get away from them and then undo. You're going to have to dig up some stuff, feel what you feel, put some salve and some doggone shea butter on those scars, and then create new neural pathways that wire your brain to something new, to the belief in yourself. So you have to prune the unbelief, and you have to purge it, and then grow new neural pathways. So none of that is going to work if you do not create neurogenesis. You can clap, you can say it. And to go back to the vision boards, and I put this up on my vision board, and I have a house and I have a car. There are a lot of people living in their vision boards right now, and they still don't believe in themselves. They believed in the house. They believed in the car. So now when you tell them that they can do, because if you have real belief, then I say, oh yeah, you believe this is your dream house, your car. Okay, cool. Now you said you wanted to start a business. Oh no. Because I was just saying I'm thinking about starting. I thought you believed in yourself. I thought your vision board worked. Your vision board worked. Then your vision. So the same neural pathways that you use to visualize this, Visualize that, right? If visualization works all the time, because it's going to be something attached to that business. You're going to hear your mama say, yeah, I don't know. We have jobs. Ain't no entrepreneurs in this family. So your wiring for entrepreneurship is going to go to negative. Everybody had a failed business. Everybody had a failed business. And I'm going to use the Kardashians, and I don't talk about people often, but Kris Jenner's mother had a retail store, and her stepfather and the store failed. And that's why the Kardashians keep trying to sell shit, because Kris Jenner is trying to make that work. They had those dash stores and they had to close them. They're trying to do online. That's why everybody's always selling stuff, because she still needs to prove to herself that they can actually have a retail store that actually works. That's why they're everything. Everybody is socks and everything. You name it, makeup, Skims, M's, teeth, all of it. Because when it was just her and her mother, before she was a flight attendant, before she met Robert Kardashian, she was trying to have a retail store. Now you know. I forgot which documentary we watched. So it doesn't matter. We got to make this thing work. And it hasn't worked, and it's not going to work because you need neurogenesis. If you don't go back and understand why it failed in the first place, past failures, it's not going to be successful. So in general, when you do those things that unaccountable people are telling you to do, it's not going to work. It's not sustainable long term. What is going to sustain you is the neurogenesis, because you create the neural pathway for you to be able to become your best using the 74 principles of real leadership. And that leads you to wherever it needs to lead you. And it is independent of anybody else. If what you're doing is done by plenty and many, you are doing the wrong thing. You are doing the wrong thing. If plenty of people can do what you do, you are in an unaccountable, manufactured idea. And I'm not saying, oh, you shouldn't be a dentist. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that your dentistry, you should have your signature thing that you do from a dentist perspective. If you haven't innovated, if you don't have the Whipple or something from a medical perspective, and you're not changing the industry that you're in the wrong industry. You're doing the wrong thing. Innovation is the I in Real Leaders Wear Pink. You need to be innovating. So if you're doing exactly what everybody else is doing in the exact same way, you are not doing what you came here to do. That is what I am saying. Our dentist loves being a dentist, but sometimes you go to a dentist and they don't really like being a dentist. They're just there because you can make a lot of money doing dentistry, but they don't care about the health of your teeth. They're just like, pull the tooth out and get you some implants. So not saving dental hygiene, teaching you how to floss and everything else. So people that are doing the thing that they came here to do, you can feel the difference. You can feel the compassion and passion and the empathy if something is taking place and that's part of their role. You can feel it. But if you're just doing it to make some money, you can tell when people are just doing something because they are doing it to make some money, or they're doing it because their family told them and their heart really isn't in it. So that's what stops you from believing in yourself. So how do you believe in yourself? Step one, you got to lose the losers. You got to lose the unaccountable people in your life. They have to go so you can grow. If you do not lose the losers, nothing I say is going to work. Personal accountability means that you are accountable and responsible for everything that you do and fail to do, and everybody around you. So if you have one unaccountable person in your life, you are personally unaccountable, period. If you don't hold that person personally accountable, you are personally unaccountable, and you're never going to believe in yourself, because here they come with all their negative shit, and they're going to keep you at whatever role you play in their life, whether you're their parent, their sibling, their employer, you're an employee, whatever it is, their go-to person, their emergency contact. They're going to keep you right where you are because they're staying right where they are, and you cannot create new neural pathways of belief because of their unbelief. Now you're going to determine what's blocking you. I had to determine I was alive maybe this time last year, because I used to didn't tell people to share the live or anything, because my sister's voice was in my head saying that ain't shit, that ain't shit, that ain't shit. So finally I had a moment on the live and I told people the whole live, share the 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 live, because I thought it was like hard selling, but it was her voice in my head telling me that ain't shit, that ain't shit, that ain't shit. So determine what's blocking your belief. Is it a teacher? Is it a coach? Is it a spouse? Is it a significant other, a sibling? What is it you? What is blocking you to believe in this thing that you're working towards? And then the next one is be objective and focus on the facts. So when you are objective, which is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, you get to focus on the facts. The last thing unaccountable people want you to do is focus on the facts. They don't want you to have tangible information, because that means that you're in your frontal lobe and you're using the executive function of your brain. They want you to stay in a hijacked amygdala state so that you're emotional and your feelings and you're irrational. So the last thing you're doing is thinking about facts because you're emotional. You have been offended or you need to defend yourself because they're coming for you. So they want to keep you in an emotional state so you can't believe. You can't be afraid and believe at the same time. It's impossible. As long as you are afraid, you can't believe. So the facts will keep you in your belief system. Stay focused on the facts to be objective, stay in your frontal lobe, and now that they're not going to be able to throw you off your square and cause you to have unbelief. Neurogenesis, as I mentioned, when you are creating new neurons for belief, you are wiring your brain to start believing. I'm going to wire my brain to go do these things that I can't see, but I'm going to be able to see. Also, neural pruning. So the thought of my sister saying that ain't shit, that ain't shit, that ain't shit, that ain't shit is gone. It's not there anymore. My mother, and well, how much money are you making? Well, how much money are you making? Well, you can't make no money doing that. Well, you can't make no money doing that. That's gone. It's not a factor for me deciding to make any type of decision because she, no matter how much money she made, it was never enough because she definitely didn't have financial literacy and she spent it as soon as it came in, it went back out again. Her whole thing was, I make plenty of money. I make plenty of money, plenty of money. Her whole thing. She literally, when Meghan Markle got married and she said, what's she bad for? She making plenty of money. And then all that stuff happened and I called it. I read the book about Diana. I said, this was about to happen to her. And lo and behold, it took place. And now, well, I don't know what she mad at. She got plenty of money. What's she mad at? What's the problem? She got plenty of money. That's like, and plenty of problems to go right along with that. So that was her concept and her mindset. And I never used that as a decision to do anything because money only solves money problems. That's it. Okay, so neural pruning, get that bullshit out of your head. Those neural pathways, if you don't keep traveling to them, they will go away. Use it or lose it. When you develop strategies, don't do anything without a strategy. Don't do anything without a strategy. When you have a strategy, you're focused on a strategy, so you have to execute the strategy. When you have what I call a dumbass plan, which means it's not smart, you just threw some shit together, that's what causes unbelief too. And he's like, well, that didn't work. It's like, but did you actually do the 7 P's? Prior planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. If you didn't do that, that's why the shit went left. When you have a sound strategy that's factually based, that's smart, and things aren't working out as you thought, you could just call it audible and go back and reverse whatever part didn't work and then continue forward. So develop strong, smart strategies and you will start to believe in yourself. Be technically competent is one of the 74 principles of thorough leadership. I've never seen somebody actually become their best and believe in themselves for real, without technical competence. I've watched Nola's confidence improve with her technical competence, which each task that she's had, each project that she's had, each piece of furniture, each curtain mounting, TV mounting, and every picture and everything else, I have watched her technical competence improve and her self-confidence and her belief in her ability. 4 years ago, she could not look at the head of a screw and determine what drill bit is necessary. Now she can look at it, whether it's Allen, hex, anything else. She can look at the head and go, okay, cool. And get the right bit and start assembling inside of the bag before she even takes it out. That's not even something that she could do, I would say 2 years ago. But that technical competence is there. So when you become technically competent, you can believe in yourself. There is no one who can talk me out of talking about anything about leadership, personal accountability, effective communication, posting on social media, business, or anything else, because I did the work. I did the actual work. And so when they say, oh my goodness, people say it on Instagram all the time, you're so confident, you're so confident. How'd you get so much confidence? Because of technical competence, because of not knowing and then knowing and becoming extremely skilled at it and then becoming best and being awarded and rewarded for it. That's where it comes from as well. But that takes time. Reading daily. When you read daily, it's amazing how much information is in books. It's amazing. It's amazing. If I want to know something, I'm going to go read it. I might watch a video if it's something that I need to figure out how to, but if I want to learn it for me, I'm going to read it. If I have a choice between a video and an article, I'm going with the article because people are not effective communicators, so I'm going to have to wait. Sometimes they talk slow, sometimes the word choice, it might be long-winded. And then especially when people make videos, the neuroscientists are making videos with music on it. How you going to learn about the brain with this? You don't need that. I'm trying to learn. I don't want some accompaniment for that. So I opt for the article, the book, the white paper, the PDF first, so I can learn it myself. And then if there's a video that accompanies it afterwards, I can watch a video once I have a base for it. But reading daily, nonfiction, is going to get you to believe because you have the information. And what happens is once you've read it, and sometimes you have to read from multiple sources, no unaccountable person can talk you out of it. So the client that we had that was telling us about her needs, like, yeah, she get an agent, she get NIL, and all of that. And when we went, it was like, none of this is going to work. You need this amount, this offer. You got to be on these sites to be rated and all of this other stuff. It's like, no, that agent is spinning y'all because y'all don't know. And most people just, if someone sounds like they know what they're talking about, good pimp shit, you done signed some shit and then signed away in perpetuity, which means they have the name, image, and likeness of you forever, regardless. They still selling Shaq's jersey at LSU right now because that deal he made with them. He might have renegotiated by now, but it's like, nope, we can use this forever. Hold up. No, you can't. No, you can't. So reading the fine print, functional literacy, reading comprehension is going to give you what you need so that you can believe in what's actually taking place. Next, become personally accountable. You are never going to believe in yourself if you are not personally accountable. True, real, 100% believing that you can do it. It's not going to happen if you're unaccountable because unaccountability is linked to negativity bias. And as soon as something goes left, you're going to blame somebody else. That's what unaccountable people do. Credit and blame. If it's going great, I did it. If it's going bad, they did it. When you're holding yourself personally accountable, you're going to say, what did I do wrong? What's happening? First thing you're going to do is go within. Check your strategies and then regroup. And then you're going to be able to move on. So if you are not holding yourself personally accountable, you can do vision wallpaper in your house, your vehicle, your garage, and everywhere else you go. And it's not long-term sustainable. Then you want to challenge yourself on a daily basis. When you challenge yourself, you are challenging your mind to do something it's never done before. And your working memory is going to say, hey, we're about to learn something. Look at this. We're going to get some new information. And it's going to be excited about that. Grow continually. If you stop growing and learning, you are going to stop believing. If you stop growing and learning, you are going to stop believing in yourself. So you need to continuously grow. What is this? Last September, I wasn't talking about the brain. I was talking about real leadership and personal accountability, but I was not talking about the brain. It wasn't until I came out as a nerd that the rest of this came out, and now I get it, and I'm getting it more and more every day. 2 years ago, it was perplexing me. Why can't people complete these challenges? Why is it so hard to hold yourself personally accountable for 365 consecutive days? But because I kept growing and kept learning, I had the ability to get to where we are today. And then the final one is always be learning. You can stop learning when you are no longer neurologically able to do it or you're no longer here. Those are the only two reasons why you stop learning. Other than that, you obviously need to be learning something every single day because you want that working memory to keep working. And as long as you're putting in new information, it's staying physically fit. It's able to do what it needs to do for you. So the last thing that I will say is that competence builds confidence, and it also builds belief. So the more competent you become, the more confidence you have, and the more believing in yourself that you will have. And that takes daily sweat equity to do the things that unaccountable people are unwilling or incapable of doing. And so they like to skip the line and leave the skills behind. And my mother and my sister are very lazy, and they are, why are you doing all that? You just said, I see, that's why, because my mother bragged. She worked for the government for 34 years, and she was so happy when she got into the intern program. I forgot what it was called because it's escaping me right now. But once she did it, you literally got its step increases, and so she retired as like a GS 12 step 11 or something like that. And she used to brag and say, I make $45 an hour, and all I do is sit on my ass, and I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing. That was her flex. And my sister has never kept a job for more than 1 year. That's it. I ran her business. She was off doing all kind of things. Never, ever, ever kept a job. She's not had 1 year ever, and she turned 55 the other day. Not 1 year. Not 1 year. So this learning, and I'm watching, well, not now because I don't talk to them, but I watched how their information stayed the same. My mother likes watching Hot Topics and things like that, so she'll tell you what the news told her, but no new information or no new learnings for themselves. So definitely want to always continue to learn because it gives you the ability to believe in yourself and the confidence and the competence to continue to become your best. What questions do you have about believing in yourself? What's stopping you from believing in yourself, and how you can believe in yourself? Mhm. Credit it and play. Is that what I said? About what? Confidence. Are you talking about when I say confidence builds confidence? Okay. Repeat what? Restate what, Regina? I asked if you had any questions regarding believing in yourself. Did you have any questions about believing in yourself? What's stopping you from believing in yourself, or how to believe in yourself? And Regina, I sent you your e-voice, so if you do that, then you can start your next one today. I sent it yesterday. Doggone hot flash. The SMART acronym is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So when you set your goals, you make sure that they're SMART. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So if you say, I'm going to lose some weight, that's not a SMART goal. So a SMART goal would be, I need to lose, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. So that's specific. It's measurable because it's 20 pounds. It's achievable because you're going to say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in the next 6 months. So that's about 1 or 2 pounds a week. And then it's relevant because you went to the doctor and you got a bad doctor's report and they said you need to lose 20 pounds. Your blood pressure is going to skyrocket. And then timely is the fact that you said you're going to do it in 6 months. So people have concepts of goals, but they don't have actual goals. And SMART has been around for a long time. Some people decided it's not relevant anymore, but I don't know that they've replaced it with something better. It works because it's actually tangible and objective, and you can actually measure it against something. So people would say, yep, I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to make $1 million before I die. I'm going to get my degree. What degree? What school? How long is it going to take you to get it finished? And why are you getting it? And before you do anything with a goal, always have a why. Yes, ma'am. Always have a why. Because if you don't have a why, you'll quit. You're going to quit. If you decide to do something without a tangible why, you will quit. And that's why you have to remember your why, or you will stop. I have to remind myself of my why often. Okay. All right. So we're on the website, turnarounddoctor.com, and you're going to go to social media tab. Letters from Louise is the third one from the bottom. And when you get the letters from Louise, you're going to scroll down, and the topic today is money. So the turnarounddoctor.com social media tab. Scroll down. Letters from Louise is third up from the bottom. And you're going to read the poem Money. And when you're finished, type in your initial response, your thoughts, all of that. Blame. Credit and blame. It's credit and blame. So unaccountable people take credit when it's going great, and then they blame when it's going left. So that's what unaccountable people do. Everything is going good. I look how smart I am. I'm a G, all of that. And then as soon as it goes left, see, I got to hire some more competent people. They don't know what they're doing. See, this is because I didn't get hugged enough. That's why I'm a terrible employer and all of that. So when things are going well, it's all them. And when things are going left, they blame any and everybody in any type of circle near them. They'll blame somebody they don't know, the government, the world, leaders. So they do credit and blame all the time. So it's letters from Louise, and it is Money is the poem for today. Read it, and then ... Go ahead and type what you thought, Resonated? Anything? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kevin, my thought, it's easy to use the lack of money as the reason for failure, but what about your efforts? Interesting. Regina, I thought money doesn't buy you happiness or confidence. Wishing for it or hoping for it doesn't make it happen. And what will you do with it? Will you help others or will you just become greedier? And one thing to say what you're saying, Regina, is I've looked and I search maybe about once a quarter, and there are 12 steps programs for everything except for greed. There is no 12-step program for greed at all, and there needs to be because it actually is an addiction. It 100% is an addiction. If you watch any of the shows, Wolf of Wall Street, Bernie Madoff, the what is it, Enron, anybody that show on BET Plus, I forgot what it's called, but the people are always my true crime stories or stuff like that. Yeah. And so while Nola is reading, so this came because people, unaccountable people, are just infatuated with money, and they have money is their measurement for who you are as a person. If you have a lot of money, you the shit. And if you ain't got no money, you ain't shit. And that's what they use. They actually use it, and they have emotionalized and weaponized money. Yes, still not satisfied and no peace at all. And so here's the thing: both of the PA for today and the real leader brain are money as the topics. So here's the definition of money. The definition that I chose: a commodity accepted by general consent as a medium of exchange. A commodity accepted by general consent as a medium of exchange. And so I don't carry a lot of cash, and I told y'all when people demand that I take cash tips, I take them, I put them in my assembled purse, and I end up giving them away. So right now I still have $5 left over from somebody gave us a tip and literally said no, because they'll give it to me, I'll give it to Nola, they'll take it and say no, this is your okay, got it, right. So I'm gonna give it away because not my business, it's her business. And so they give it to me, I just pay it forward. I find somebody in the parking lot, give it to Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. So currently, because it was folded in a bunch of cards and stuff. So I was like, dang, I didn't realize I still had it. So we go somewhere today, I'll give it to somebody, depending on where we go. So anyway, this is $5 folded up in my wallet. And so I use this, and I'm going to use this example right now. So you have water, I have $5. Now, here's the water, here's the $5. You give me the water, I give you the $5. And depending on where I am, I may or may not get some change. Now, if I'm at a convenience store or I'm at the Dollar Tree or something, I'm going to get some change. If you got some BOGO or case, I'm going to get some change back. If I'm at a football stadium or a concert, this ain't even enough to pay for this. At the convention center, I'm going to need another $5 to pay for this bottle of water. But anyway, that's what it is. So it's really this simple. And determining their self-worth based upon it exclusively. Right. So it's a commodity. And it's a general consensus. Money only solves money problems. So back in the day, they used to barter. You got some eggs, I got some milk, let's switch. You got some barley, I got some wheat, let's switch, right? So this thing, this inanimate object, is for this. So we all agree in the world right now, this is how you get what you want and what you need. It's very factually based. You have water, I have $5. I give you $5, you give me water. Sometimes I get change, sometimes I got to add to it. This is money. It's that simple, right? I made it very simple. I need it, you got it, let's switch. You want this because you gave me this. Why is it so emotional? Why? Because of greed. And greed will never be a 12-step program because the greedy people don't want it to be a 12-step program. But it causes so many problems. You have family members taking each other out. And the reason why wealthy people make people wait for them to die to give people the money because they want to make sure that their care is given to them. They want to make sure you're going to treat me as I die and I'm on my deathbed and I'm getting the proper medical treatment. You can't have this until I'm no longer here. So they're using it to make sure you don't try to take them out. But sometimes people try to take you out because you've taken this thing that we all agreed upon and now you want to use it against us. But it's just a commodity. It's a medium of exchange. And I tell people all the time, money only solves money problems. Steve Jobs and Paul Allen both died of different cancers, and they were billionaires. And Steve Jobs was on 2 liver donor lists, and he still died because money only solves money problems. After that, Barbara Walters' daughter was addicted to drugs and alcohol. She was Barbara Walters, and she couldn't get to help her daughter. Eventually, she became clean and sober, but she couldn't keep her clean and sober. So there are things, and we've been to people's houses. Toddlers are toddlers, and they will draw on anything. We had a couple, they had 3 children under 5, and they bought a white 7th Avenue couch. We said it should be black, and we came back and had to put black covers on everything. They had highlighters, food, all kind of stuff on that white couch, and they ended up having to spend more money. The only thing money solved was replacing that couch, but those kids are still going to tear that stuff off because toddlers are toddlers. Toddlers don't care about that stuff at all. They will pull blinds, curtains. They don't care if the curtains came from Amazon or from custom drapes. That shit's coming down. They're going to take stuff and put it in their mouth. They're going to plug shit in the plugs. You still got to baby-proof the house. No matter how nice the house is, you're going to have to put gates up and everything else because kids going to do what kids do until you train them not to. So money only solves money problems. Yes. Yes. But they wanted that new, because I told you, these millennials want everything to be white and pristine and all this other stuff. You got furniture you can't sit on, shit you can't use, and all of that. And so, yeah. And now it's black. They went from pure white to dark black. Like, black is black. Like, and highlighter still shows up. So the point is, don't have the kids having highlighter on the couch. Anyway, yeah. So money only solves money problems. But the unaccountable people, this is the thing that they can control. So they can't control anything else. So they use the one thing that they can control to make you feel good or make you feel bad. And a lot of people enter into Faustian bargains. And here is the perfect example. I always can tell when someone has entered into a Faustian bargain by how much they're telling me about their stuff and showing me their stuff and how much stuff they got. Because if you entered into an agreement because it was fulfilling you, then there is no reason for you to be talking about every time Floyd Mayweather used to pull out them stupid 30 ass watches 30 and show everybody I got the ones on and the hundreds. I'm like, dude, if you'll go somewhere with these damn watches, okay, got it. We know you money making Floyd Mayweather. Wow, okay. Because I'm unfulfilled, so let me go show off my shit so some people can be like, damn, where you get that money from? Because what happened in the background? From my understanding, Floyd Mayweather Sr. has early dementia or something else. Money is not going to change that. It's not going to stop that process. And at the end of the day, we all going to have to check out of here, regardless of how much money you have. And the other thing that shows me too is how niggardly, look it up, it means stingy, people are once they get a lot of money. Because how much money is enough money? And they tell people all the time, get your number and stay at your number and be done with it. But if you keep trying to get more and more and more, that's when it becomes addictive. That's when it becomes greedy, and now you're competing. That's what the billionaires list is about. That's why people are always trying to get on it. And then you get on it and get to the top of it and realize it ain't shit. Now you're trying to find something else to do. Everybody that got to the top is doing something else now. And they haven't tried to get back to the top again because they realize this is some bullshit. Money only solves money problems, and it's very much unfulfilling. And who did you step on and who did you stab in the back and everything else? How many casualties do you have behind you trying to get this thing that's just the medium of exchange? And most of it is not real wealth either, especially if it's stocks and all of that. It's not real. I forgot, Floyd Mayweather had to pay for something, and he didn't have the cash, and so he had to have that fight. I think it might have been with I forgot who it was with. It's been years ago, but whatever debt it was, he had to wait till he got the money from that fight to pay for it because that money is not liquid all the time. Plus, the banks don't have it anyway. You try to go to a bank, get 100,000, you're gonna have to go to multiple banks. You're not gonna be able to just go and get 100,000 stacks. It's not gonna work like that because they don't have the cash available and still be able to operate with the rest of the banks. So whatever your number is, get to your number. You can only drive one car. You can only live in one house. You can only wear one outfit at a time. You can only wear one wig. So yes, should people have a livable or earn a livable wage and all that? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about past that, where the thing that matters to you most is money. And here's the other thing: as these young people get these NIL deals, they go and take the money and go give it to somebody else. They're not even using it. So a young man who I won't say who it is, got a deal. Yeah, Conor McGregor was the fight. Got a deal, and got some cars, and then that wasn't enough because things aren't working out because he's not going to start at the school he signed for. So now he taking pictures. He went and got a Lamborghini SUV. He taking pictures with a Rolex. And I'm like, so you just took this money and just gave it to Lambo and Rolex. You didn't go buy a franchise. Neither one of these things are going to make you any money. And as soon as you got them, they depreciated. So you went and took money and gave it for a car and a watch, even though you already had one car. And you didn't think, oh, I could go buy some franchises with this. I could actually go buy some property with this. I could buy duplexes and apartments and rent these out and have these things make money for me. I could go buy some car washes and some barbershops. I could buy a daycare and give people reduced rate for daycare. So you didn't think to go improve your community or do something that would help people. None of that. I could give people scholarships at my school that can't afford to go to school. I could go back to my high school and give scholarships to football players that's not going to make it. It isn't taught. It isn't. And so you got this money and went and made somebody else rich off of your money. And I'm not saying you can't have a car. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, do you need 17 cars? Do you need 15 houses that you don't live in and no one else can live in either? So the point is that money is just a medium of exchange, and that's all that it is. And when you don't use it for the betterment of your community and to give back, then you are niggardly and you are hoarding it. And what was the point? How much money does one individual person or family need in order for it to be what they need and to create legacies for their family? Because you can create a legacy and not just from a financial way. So that's just my take on money. Having been exposed, been in rooms with billionaires and brokenaires and every point in between. And I'm saying it only solves money problems. It doesn't fulfill you and it doesn't make you a better person because you have it. And it doesn't mean that you ain't shit because you don't have it. Because we have seen plenty of people, 3 generations in a 3-bedroom house, living together, talking, coexisting. And then we have seen very wealthy people in separate rooms, ain't nobody talking to nobody, not eating dinner at the table, doors closed, and everything else. And it's almost like they're strangers living in a house. So It's your choice financially to do what you want to do. I'm just saying that it's just don't determine your worth by a definition from an unaccountable person whose only value is that money. And that's it. Okay. Following up yesterday, your go for it. What was your go for it from yesterday? And franchises are actually really cheap because when I worked with Charles Smith, who was a former New York Knicks player, he used to have a conference here every year for people getting out of all the leagues, athletes, so that they could take their money and turn it into business opportunities. And so franchising is always a good idea. Grocery stores too. I wish there were more grocery store franchise opportunities because that will actually work. And I think I told y'all that I tried to start it. The African Americans here tried to start a credit union. That one left. Yeah. Anyway, everybody's too worried about who's gonna get credit for the project, not in the credit union. Because it's easier to start a credit union than a bank. You spoke to a group of young people. Yes, you did. And I spoke to some more people on Threads about neuromobility. What you got to show if you don't try? Why don't you go for it? Threads is part of Instagram, and so it was Mark Zuckerberg's, because you know Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk don't get along. So Mark Zuckerberg started Threads. If you have an Instagram account, it automatically links you to a Thread account if you decide to claim your Thread account. And so it's basically the Mark Zuckerberg version of Twitter. You're typing your go for it from yesterday. So yesterday's principle of real leadership was go for it. You're typing what your go for it was. And I think I said this story too. It was a gentleman, and I was reading it in a book, and it was a gentleman, just a normal gentleman, sitting at a table with a bunch of wealthy people, and the wealthy guy was talking about all his stuff that he had and everything else, and he leaned over to the other person and said, and he said, "So what do you have?" And the guy said, "Enough." And that was the end of the conversation. Basically, it's like, "Enough? Yeah, I have enough." No, it said working with that electronic baby stroller, I figured out most of it because I could have put it together and told Pops good luck. Yes, got it. Reels, Threads, and billionaires are having temper tantrums. Yes, they are. And money only magnifies who you are. So if you were a stingy asshole before you got money, money doesn't change you, it magnifies you exponentially. So that's all it does. It's like, well, they changed when they got money. No, they didn't change. The money just actually shows you who you are. Yesterday, I committed to a meeting today that would change the life of my future descendants. I will have to change. I will have to change my mindset. Yeah, and I got chills from that, Kevin. You definitely will have to change your mindset. You do. And the beautiful thing is now you know that you are 1000% capable of doing it because all you're doing is neurogenesis. You're just creating new neural pathways. And I finally found a video that I can use myself I got to work on it today because we had an appointment that we didn't get home till 9 o'clock to demonstrate actual neural pathways. So I believe I can put it together so that you can actually get it. Because as Regina mentioned, you can look at stuff and them little synapses and all of that. It's like, I don't have a frame of reference for that. I don't have a frame of reference for that. So hopefully I can get it done today so that we can actually see or get the concept of a neural pathway. That is my objective. I do have 2 more lives today. So between today and tomorrow, I finally found a video that's helping me so that I can help you. Yes, Kevin is creating legacies over there. The Hook family will continue to grow and develop. All right, what did you learn today? Oh no, that was your go. All right, what did you learn today? And then we can get on out of here. What I learned today, because I have never looked up the definition of money before today. What I learned today is that the definition of money is so neutral, it don't even make any sense. It's like neutral, like really neutral. And unaccountable people have just really made it this very bad, mean word. It's so emotional. And it's so not, it's just like, gotta go to the store to get some food. I gotta go get some gas. It is and I've said it's a medium of exchange, but just, it's accepted as consent. It's a medium of exchange. It's very, 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 very simple. Very, very, very simple. And I will say that at my peak, when I was bossed up and flossed up, I was still very much philanthropic. Would give so much away that it doesn't even make any sense. Here you go. You can have it. You like this, you can have it. Because I've always been that way. When my cousin's house burnt down right before Christmas, I gave them all of the stuffed animals on my bed. My Alvin and Chipmunks and my Cabbage Patch dolls and all of that. And we were not well off at all. Those were definitely our 3 forks in the house years. And still I was like, they don't have any toys for Christmas. This is terrible. Give them mine. Yes. So I gave them all my favorite stuffed animals. I think I kept one, and it wasn't one that I remember. Now moving. Hurricane Katrina, gave them all my winter coats. Went to Target, bought a bunch of stuff, donated it. They had people moving to Michigan. I was like, they're gonna be cold as hell. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. So what did you learn today? Learned credit and blame. I've been trying to find the words to explain that behavior. Thanks, Dr. Donna. My pleasure. I am here to serve. Regina, reminded that the brain enjoys being challenged in order to stay in the frontal lobe. Unaccountable people can torpedo your success. Yes, they can. And Nola, unaccountable people can complicate the simplest thing, i.e. baby strollers and money. They can. They actually can. And I don't know why they do that. I really haven't figured that part out. Like, what's happening that they have to make it so complicated? I don't know if it's because they're neurologically inept, and so they don't even know that they're, I'm talking about the baby stroller, not the money. They're well aware of what they're using money as a weapon. They definitely are well aware of that. I got all the money in the world. I'm the king. No, you're not. But they do complicate things, and I think it's because it's dumbass plans. So what happens is they have a dumbass plan. It's not a smart strategy. And then now it's done. And then they put it on everybody else. And if it works, they say, I'm a genius. And if it doesn't, they blame you and tell you didn't follow the instructions. What, did you watch the video? Was something is wrong with you? So I think that's what's happening, is that they have dumbass plans, and then they're doing the credit and blame. And that's why we're on the receiving end, because it takes neural pathways to actually be strategic and plan things out completely. So if everybody is unaccountable and they're only focused on their part and they don't come together as a group to see how that's going to go, play the movie out and really role play, okay, what happens if you do this, and actually tinker with the products and their services and all of that, I believe that that's how we got here. Okay, well, your real leader principle for today is believe in yourself. Kevin, you're already on your way to going forward, and now you just need to believe in yourself. So find something, dust off an old shameful thing, a hurtful thing that somebody said to you, or a fear that you have, or a belief that you have, and triple down on it, and or exponentially make it better. But do something that causes you to believe in yourself today in a way that you've never ever done it before. Because what happens is now you're creating that neural pathway for believing in yourself. If you think about the 74 principles of real leadership, you're wiring the neural pathways for them individually, and then you're going to create even more neural pathways because you'll be combining them, and then that way you're going to be superhuman, as I have been referred to. So you're going to have the ability to do any and everything that you set your mind to do and be super, 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 super strong because of the amount of unlimited neural pathways that you are able to create by using these 74 principles of real leadership. So as always, thank you for investing in yourself today, investing in your own neurogenesis and your own neural pathways, because you are becoming mentally stronger every single day, and it's changing you and it's changing the people around you, transforming them so that we can all, hopefully, more sooner than later, start to change adult behavior from unaccountable to personally accountable, so we can start having a better existence to the point where we get to a best existence for those coming behind us. Have a wonderful, it is Monday, and we are not assembling anything today. I do have 2 more lives at 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. But in the interim, I am going to take a nap because still spring forward up until about Wednesday or Thursday is kicking me in the butt. So I'm sleepy. Went to bed almost at midnight. So I'm a little lethargic today. I will be back tomorrow, God willing, higher power in the universe. Same time, same place, different t-shirt. You all have a magnificent Monday. Bye-bye.